Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents 1, 2, 3 Magic in the Classroom. Effective Discipline for Pre-K through Grade 8. By Thomas W. Phelan, Ph.D., and Sarah Jane Schonour, M.A. Narrated by Chris Sorensen. Preface. The very first seminar for 1, 2, 3 Magic, Effective Discipline for Children 2 through 12, took place at a local Holiday Inn on a cold April day in 1984. It was attended by 28 parents and a few teachers. Since that day, millions of parents, teachers, teachers' aides, school administrators, grandparents, camp counselors, therapists, mental health professionals, and pediatricians have used 1, 2, 3 Magic to solve child discipline issues. Many more adults have learned the program through our books, videos, and audios, and our unit sales have crossed the 1.6 million mark. We now have leader guides for parents and for teachers, Spanish books and videos, and more than 20 foreign translations. The reasons for the success of 1, 2, 3 Magic are simple. The program is easy to learn and it works. You can learn it one day and start it the next. There really is no magic involved, but we have had many delighted school teachers and parents swear that the 1, 2, 3 program works like magic. And now, after all these years, we are hearing from people who raised and taught their children from the ground up on 1, 2, 3 Magic, and these folks often thank us for turning their lives around. At Parent Magic Incorporated, we want to make a dramatic and positive difference in the lives of the people who use our program. We want teachers to have energetic but orderly classrooms where children learn to respect one another and respect their instructors. We want moms and dads to enjoy their children and to be able to discipline their kids with gentleness, firmness, and decisiveness. We want children to grow up happy, competent, and able to get along with others. Why an addition for teachers? There are some important distinctions between how a parent would implement 1, 2, 3 Magic and how a teacher might use the program. As far as we know, few parents have to simultaneously manage the behavior of 25 children. Therefore, at the request of many teachers, we developed a book with a school and classroom focus. In writing this book, we have had a great deal of valuable assistance from experienced educators. Special thanks are due to our contributing writers, consultants, and reviewers: Christina Doherty, Chapter 25, Becky Ferguson, Chapter 23, Susan Kernan, Chapter 27, Cheryl Hauser, Megan Law, and Shilpi Patel. The contributions and feedback of these individuals are deeply appreciated. Like the 1, 2, 3 Magic parenting program, 1, 2, 3 Magic in the Classroom organizes the classroom discipline strategy into 3 separate and critical steps. 1. Managing undesirable behavior. 2. Encouraging good behavior. 3. Strengthening your relationship with students. These 3 steps are, of course, interdependent, and they are dealt with in this audiobook in that order. Keep in mind, though, the fundamental concept of preventive discipline in the classroom. A student who is doing his work will not be a behavior problem. As much as possible, effective teachers structure work, engage students in learning, and monitor progress so that the need for corrective discipline is minimal. How to use this book. 1, 2, 3 Magic in the Classroom describes some straightforward and very effective methods for managing the school behavior of children from the ages of approximately 2 to 14. To get the best results, keep in mind the following. 1. The methods should be used exactly as they are described here, especially with regard to the no talking and no emotion rules. 2. If there is more than one adult in the classroom on a regular basis, both adults should use the techniques described. 3. At times, it may be helpful for teachers to get parents and families involved in using the 123 Magic program. Grandparents, babysitters, and other caregivers have also found the 123 Magic program very helpful in managing young children. In addition, these days more and more grandparents are raising their grandchildren themselves, and a teacher's suggestion of the program may be a lifesaver for these older adults. 4. Note that illness, allergies, and physical pain can cause and aggravate behavioral and emotional difficulties in children. A teacher may want to ask the parents about any health issues that may affect their child. Psychological evaluation and counseling. Teachers should not make diagnoses regarding the psychological health of their students. However, we encourage a dialogue among teachers, parents, school psychologists, and others regarding the well-being of any child. In fact, the 123 Magic program can assist teachers in deciding when it might be time to discuss with a parent the possibility of a referral to a school psychologist, school social worker, or special services team. We hope 123 Magic in the Classroom helps you establish the kind of classroom environment you want, and, equally important, allows you to look forward to each day at school with your students. Introduction. Teaching, not for the faint of heart. Can I get a drink? Not right now. Why not? Because we're going to lunch in 5 minutes. We'll stop for water then. But I want a drink now. I just told you to wait 5 minutes. You never let me do anything. What? Of course I do. You've been line leader all week. You let Jose get a drink. Do you have to do everything Jose does? Besides, he finished his work. I promise I'll do all my work. I've heard that before. Look at your folder. It's full of unfinished work. I'm going to tell my parents. Fine. Be my guest. Good teaching involves good discipline. The only people who think teaching is easy are those who have never taught. Like parenting, this task is one of the most important jobs in the world, but it is not an easy one. Working with young children can be one of life's most enjoyable experiences, yet it can also become unbelievably frustrating. Educators with romantic notions about teaching often forget that it is impossible for all the children in your classroom to like you and what you are doing. Educating children means that, in addition to nurturing and supporting them, you must also frustrate them on a regular basis, for their own good and for the good of everyone. Now it's time to get to work. Now you must take a test. Stop teasing your friend. No, you can't get a drink of water. Over and over, firmness and gentleness are required. Unfortunately, when they are frustrated, kids do not usually thank their teachers for trying to discipline them properly. Instead, youngsters have an amazing natural ability to confuse, sidetrack, and aggravate the adults whom the kids see as responsible for their current distress. We call this testing and manipulation, and there are 6 basic types. Chapter 10. Testing and manipulation can interfere with learning, eliminate fun, ruin relationships, and destroy a classroom atmosphere. Repeat the drink of water scene 1,000 times and you have guaranteed misery for both teacher and child. That's no way for anyone to spend their time at school, and that is also why a teacher must have a discipline plan ready at the beginning of the year to prevent discipline problems before they start. Teaching versus parenting. 2 big differences. Teaching is different from parenting in 2 major ways. First of all, most parents have 2 or 3 kids at home, while most teachers have about 25 in their classroom. In addition to having more kids, teachers are not allowed downtime with their students. At home, parents can say, "Do whatever you want for a while," to their young charges. In the classroom, however, teachers have to see to it that the learning and work get done, all day long. Even free time and recess requires adult monitoring. So classroom teachers have a specific job to do, assigning schoolwork and promoting learning with lots of children all day long. The chief priority in the classroom, therefore, is getting that work done, not behavioral discipline. It is true that a good discipline plan, such as 1-2-3 Magic in the classroom, has both preventative strategies as well as intervention tactics for times when problems pop up. But the fact of the matter remains that a student who is doing his work will not be a discipline problem. Effective teaching, which is not the scope of this audiobook, is the best preventative discipline strategy. Because adults and kids are not perfect, however, the best teaching still requires an effective discipline plan to back it up. That's why there is a program like 1-2-3 Magic. Adults need to know how to handle difficult behavior, encourage good behavior, and manage the inevitable sidetrack of testing and manipulation, all in a manner that is fair, perfectly clear, and not abusive. When children's inevitable troublesome behaviors are handled in routine and successful ways, the more productive side of the teacher-student relationship is allowed to kick in. Learning, praise, conscientious work, and shared fun can flow naturally. Good discipline, in other words, makes for better teaching and for good times. Key concept: a student who is doing his work will not be a discipline problem. Effective teaching is the best preventive discipline strategy. 1, 2, 3. 3 steps to effective discipline. 1-2-3 Magic in the classroom will provide you with 3 steps for effective discipline. Each of the 3 steps is distinct, manageable, and extremely important. The 3 steps are also mutually interdependent. In other words, each one depends to some extent on the others for its success. Step 1 involves managing undesirable behavior. No teacher will get along well with her students if the children are constantly irritating her with whining, arguing, teasing, badgering, tantrums, yelling, and fighting. In 1-2-3 Magic in the classroom, you will learn how to count obnoxious behavior to motivate children to stop, and you will be pleasantly surprised at how effective that simple technique is. Step 2 involves encouraging good behavior. Encouraging good behavior, such as cleaning up, transitioning, being courteous, and doing classwork, takes more effort for both adult and child than managing difficult behavior. You will learn 7 simple methods to help encourage positive actions in your kids. Step 3 involves learning some valuable and not so difficult ways of strengthening your relationships with your students. Some teachers merely need to be reminded of these strategies. Other teachers have to work hard at them. Paying attention to the quality of your relationships with the children in your class will help you with steps 1 and 2, and vice versa. Let's get going. And good luck. Chapter Summary. The 3 steps to effective discipline are: 1. Managing undesirable behavior. 2. Encouraging good behavior. 3. Strengthening your relationships with your students. Part 1. Building a solid foundation for classroom discipline. Chapter 1. What is 1-2-3 Magic? An explanation of our effective, simple discipline program. The 1-2-3 Magic program is not magic. Instead, it is a simple, precise, and effective way of gently and firmly managing the behavior of children from approximately the preschool years through 8th grade. The reason for our unusual title is that so many teachers, parents, and other child caretakers have said, "It works like magic." 1, 2, 3 magic in the classroom certainly does work if you use the program correctly, which means following a few simple basic rules. The 1, 2, 3 program is what you might call a teacher-in-charge strategy, but no arguing, yelling, or negative physical contact is allowed. Teaching behavior as well as academics. Many teachers feel well prepared to teach academics to their students, yet very much unprepared to address challenging behavior. It is difficult, if not impossible, to teach a group of students who are out of control. Undesirable behavior must be managed if any learning is to occur. The trouble is that many teachers do not know where to start with behavior management. They may have had parts of 1 or 2 classes at the university level that addressed this subject, but they are still unsure of how to utilize their limited information to maintain control in their classrooms. In the very first days of the school year, students quickly sense whether their instructor has a decisive and calm strategy for behavior management. Weak and uncertain strategies make many students anxious, while they allow other children to act up more and thus disrupt the learning environment. Yet it is critical to the success of teacher and students to have a safe and calm classroom. This is where 1, 2, 3 magic in the classroom comes in. The method described in this book is easy to master, and you can start the program right away. Too many discipline programs start by pointing out the approximately 50 discipline mistakes you are supposedly making in your classroom at the present time. Then, in the hope of helping you to correct these errors, the program presents 50 elaborate strategies that require an advanced degree in educational psychology in order to be able to use them properly. The result? You are left with bad feelings, confusion, and no clear place to start. Worse than that, things in your classroom stay the same or get worse. After reading 1, 2, 3 Magic in the Classroom, however, you will know exactly what to do, what not to do, what to say and what not to say in just about every one of the common everyday problem situations you run into with your students. Because 1, 2, 3 Magic in the Classroom is based on only a few basic but critical principles, you will also be able to remember what to do, and you will be able to do it when you are anxious, agitated, or upset. You will also be able to be a kind but effective teacher when you are busy, in a hurry, or otherwise preoccupied. In addition to managing minor but frequent problems, you will also know how to handle more serious behavior issues, such as lying, stealing, and fighting. You will find that if you use the 1, 2, 3 program correctly, it will work. 1, 2, 3 Magic has been shown to be very effective with 2 to 14-year-old students, whether they are children with special needs or typically developing youngsters. In fact, 1, 2, 3 Magic has been used successfully with children with learning disabilities, attention deficit disorder, emotional disabilities, and visual and hearing impairments. It has also been used with children with developmental disabilities and/or intellectual disabilities. To benefit properly from the 1, 2, 3 program, the only rule is that a child must have a cognitive age of at least 2 years. When you finish learning about the 1, 2, 3 Magic program, it is a good idea to start using it immediately. Talk with any instructional teammates you may have and then get going right away. If you are in your classroom on your own, take a deep breath and explain the 1, 2, 3 program to your students. Also, send a letter home and have a parent night when you show all your parents and families part of the 1, 2, 3 Magic parent video. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and after seeing the video, especially the famous Twinkie example, many of your parents will want to start using the program at home. The resulting school-home cooperation and consistency are often worth their weight in gold, especially with children with unusually difficult behavior. If you are a school counselor or social worker, you may suggest that parents or teachers get a copy of the 123 Magic book at their local bookstore, or you can provide them with a copy of the 123 Magic video. The Parent-Teacher Association, PTA, may also want to have these items available for checkout. Key concept. Many teachers feel well prepared to teach academics to their students, but very much unprepared to address challenging behavior. It is difficult, if not impossible, to teach a group of students who are out of control. What to expect when you begin the 123 program. When you do start 123 Magic in the classroom, things will change quickly. Initially, the majority of your students will fall into the immediate cooperator category. You start the program and they cooperate right away, sometimes just like magic. What do? Just relax and enjoy your good fortune. A few of the kids, however, might fall into the immediate tester category. The behavior of these children gets worse first. They challenge you to see if you really mean business with your new ideas and methods. If you stick to your guns, however, no arguing, yelling, or physical intimidation, you will get these little testers shaped up pretty well in about a week to 10 days. Then what do? You start enjoying your students again. Believe it or not, you may soon have a much more peaceful classroom and more enjoyable kids. You will be less exhausted by having to discipline, and you will have more time for instruction. Chapter Summary. Once you start using 123 Magic, your students will fall into one of two categories. 1. Immediate cooperators, the majority. 2. Immediate testers, a few. Enjoy the cooperators and brace yourself for the testers. Chapter 2. Identifying Start Behavior and Stop Behavior. How understanding two types of behavior will solve your discipline problems. There are two basic kinds of problems that students present to their teachers. When you are frustrated with your students, the children are either 1. Doing something you want them to stop, or 2. Not doing something you would like them to start. In the 123 Magic program, therefore, we call these two kinds of things stop behavior and start behavior. In the hustle and bustle of everyday existence, you may not have worried much about the difference between stop and start behaviors, but as we'll soon see, the distinction is extremely important. Stop behavior includes the frequent, minor, everyday problem behaviors that kids present, such as whining, disrespecting, talking out of turn, arguing, teasing, pouting, yelling, and getting out of one's seat. Stop behavior in and of itself ranges from mildly irritating to obnoxious. Each of these difficult behaviors may not be so bad on their own, but add them all up in one afternoon and by 3 p.m. you may feel like hitchhiking to South America. Start behavior, on the other hand, includes constructive activities like cleaning up, doing work, practicing facts, transitioning from one activity to another, raising one's hand, and being nice to other people. When you have a problem with start behavior, your student is not doing something that, in your eyes, would be a good thing to do. It's important to distinguish between stop and start behaviors because you will use different tactics for each kind of problem. For stop behavior problems such as whining, disrespecting, talking out of turn, teasing, arguing, pouting, yelling, getting out of one's seat, use the 1, 2, 3 or counting procedure. Counting is simple, gentle, and direct. For start behavior problems such as cleaning up, doing work, raising one's hand, choose from several tactics which can be used either singly or in combination. These tactics include praise, simple requests, kitchen timers, the docking system, natural consequences, charting, cross-dialogue, and the counting variation. Start behavior strategies, as you can probably guess, require more thought and effort than counting does. Why the difference in strategies? The answer lies in the issue of motivation. How long does it take a child, if she is motivated, to terminate a stop behavior like screaming or being disrespectful? The answer is about 1 second. It's really not a big project. And depending on how angry or oppositional a child is, terminating an occurrence of obnoxious behavior doesn't take tons of effort. But now look at start behavior. How long does it take a child to eat lunch? Maybe 20 to 25 minutes. To clean his desk? Perhaps 15 minutes. To get ready for dismissal? 10 to 15 minutes. How about completing a geography assignment? This might take anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 years. So it's obvious that with start behavior, more motivation is required from the child. He has to begin the project, keep at it, and then finish it. And the project is often something he is not thrilled about having to do in the first place. In addition, if engaging in positive behavior in kids requires more motivation in the kids, it's also going to require more motivation from the instructor. As you'll soon see, putting an end to stop behavior using counting is relatively easy if you do it right. Start behavior requires more sophisticated tactics. When managing a behavioral difficulty with one of your pupils, therefore, you will need to first determine if you have a stop or a start behavior problem. Is the issue something you want the child to quit? Or is it something you want him or her to get going on? Since counting is so easy, one of the biggest problems we run into is adults mistakenly using counting for start behavior. For example, counting a child to get her to do her homework. As you will soon see, counting produces motivation in children that usually lasts only a short time, from a few seconds to a couple of minutes, and does not provide the lasting motivation needed to get a child to continue desired behavior. If you mix up your tactics, that is, use counting for schoolwork, you will not get optimum results. Pop quiz. Just for practice, take this short stop behavior versus start behavior quiz. 1. Anna is whining about wanting to share her show and tell immediately. Stop or start? 2. Seth does not begin working when the other students do. Stop or start? 3. Karen drops her coat on the floor inside the doorway and then goes to her desk. Stop or start? 4. James tells another student that she's stupid. Stop or start? 5. Tammy bursts into the classroom and yells, "It's snowing outside." Stop or start? How did you do? The answers are 1. Stop, 2. Start, 3. Start, 4. Stop, 5. Stop. You're probably aware by now that some problems have both stop and start behavior aspects to them. If Johnny is talking to his neighbor, a stop behavior, he cannot also be doing his math, a start behavior. Don't worry. The 1-2-3 magic procedure is so simple you'll be an expert in no time. Effective discipline will start to come naturally, and, believe it or not, your students will start listening to you. Chapter Summary. For stop behavior such as talking, disrespecting, arguing, teasing, yelling, getting out of seat, use the 1-2-3 or counting procedure. For start behavior such as cleaning up, doing your work, raising your hand, transitioning, listening. Use praise, simple requests, kitchen timers, the docking system, natural consequences, charting, the counting
Sample complete. Ready to continue?